You're this perp. Welcome to the very first episode of the Horror Never Dies podcast. This is something I'm starting. It's brand new. I got some guests that are going to come in soon. But welcome to everybody that is just tuning in, or if you're just now catching the replay. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be an interesting kind of like little experiment. I'm going to kind of give you the breakdown of just how I came about this and what to kind of expect. Let me let my guest in real quick. Whatever, shot.
What's good, fam? What's up with you?
Chilling, man. Tired, very tired. It's been a long fucking day, but at least it was busy. At least it was a busy day. So
Hey, look, you ain't never lied, man. I just got in from work my damn self, man. So I'm riding on fumes right now and straight adrenaline.
yeah, same. 'Cause, like literally, I was like, I woke up. I don't even remember what time I woke up, but I just stood. I was just staying up. I ended up going to the movies at like 10, like around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock.
Oh,
Then right from there, going straight to work. Now I'm just getting off of work, you
yeah.
know. And then tomorrow's cinema day. I don't know if you were going to go see any movies or anything like that
I
tomorrow.
don't know. Tomorrow's actually my birthday, man, and I was contemplating it, but I said, you know what? Maybe I'm just getting old, bro. I just want to just rest the whole day. I just want to take the whole day and not do shit.
Yeah, it's
Just
definitely gonna be chaotic,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. I
But
mean, cause
am I coming in clear though?
yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. What were you saying?
Oh no, I would say yeah, it's gonna be crazy tomorrow. But I mean, only thing that I really want to see tomorrow probably is Gran Turismo or the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park. Because yeah, I saw that in the theater 30 years ago, so it'll be cool to go back and kind of relive that, and it's in 3D as well. So
Yeah, that's not a that's a no go for me just because I wear glasses. So that's
uh
3D 3D films never work out for me. But just to kind of give a breakdown to people, whoever like tunes in and watches this, you know what I'm saying? Like I came up with this idea for a horror podcast about a year ago. I was gonna start this last year because I had a bunch of. I was just going crazy because I was just thinking about a bunch of different ideas because I wasn't really like feeling like streaming. I was just wasn't in the mood.
hmm
It was being like I was just like very discouraged. But then I started to just think about like you know what? Why don't I just try out this horror shit because that's my favorite genre, arguably the best genre, and just get all different types of other creators and stuff like that that love it just as much as me. And I had an original idea for it, but then it kind of just evolved into what it evolved into. Like I just started to make a layout, just like let me instead of just doing like a podcast like every single week, the whole calendar year. I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna set it up like a series, like a 10 episode, like have 10 episodes this season. It runs right into Halloween. You know what I'm saying? Right in that time. So I had to make sure it lined up for that. Um, and then I just started like coming up with ideas and just episode titles. So pretty much every episode, whatever it's titled, that's gonna kind of be the theme. Like this theme is um the horror that made us. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? Pretty much is like an icebreaker, but since this is a horror podcast, it would be a neck breaker instead of an icebreaker. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that would have been kind of interesting to kind of go off of that. And I put out like the first 3 episodes as far as like the streams and what the thumbnail looks like, so to kind of give people, a taste of what to expect. And if it does well, I already got like season 2 and 3 kind of already planned out. I've had all this shit done for like a year. I'll just kind of like promoting it and stuff like that here and there. I don't know how well it's gonna do, or if people go catch on, but I just wanted to kind of do it as like a passion project for myself. It's I love horror, so um, and last year was such a great year. That's why I really would like really inspired me to kind of do it. But yeah, so like I said, the theme of this episode is the horror that made us, and also since this is a podcast, it's not gonna go too long. We're gonna go like an hour, hour and a half max, depending on like how many people show up and just what I'm saying, just because a lot of people have short attention spans, so like they're gonna run back a whole 2 hour stream or a 2 hour podcast. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. With that being said, horror that made us like there's just like I don't remember specifically the horror movie or show or whatever like got me into horror. I can just vaguely remember certain things like starting off with like Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark? I didn't start with those, but I was already into like Child's Play, Friday the 13th, at a very young age. Like I think my earliest memories are like back in elementary school because I used to have this friend in first grade where he was obsessed with Puppet Master. He'd have the actual dolls. He'll bring them in. They were fucking creepy as shit. He was one of those kids. He was just one of those weird fucking kids. I was just like, okay. He just was really into horror. He would bring in like his Chucky doll and stuff like that. So that's what kind of like I feel like someone opened me up to the idea of just being into horror and just it was just history ever since. You know what I'm saying? So what were some of your inspirations, or like was it like did you get introduced to horror from like a family member, or did you just kind of find it by yourself?
Well, actually, can you hear me? Okay, first of all, am
Yeah.
I coming in
Yep.
clear? Okay. Um, I was a late bloomer when it came to horror because when I was a kid growing up in the '80s, it was like the forbidden fruit. You know what I mean? Like back
Yeah.
during the mom and pop video store era, the horror section was like always hidden. Like it was always like in a separate room or in a basement. You know what I mean? So it was always like that area where you like almost like the porn section. Yeah, like the porn section had its own area, and then the horror section
Yeah.
had its own area. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I was never allowed to go in there. But my introduction to horror was Michael Jackson Thriller. Like I remember being
Mm.
4 years old. That's the first time I ever saw something with zombies and werewolves and stuff like that. And my father, who was a movie buff at the time, he said, "Well, my son did pretty good with Thriller, so I wonder what else I can show him." And of course, as you know, John Landis directed Thriller, so he showed me the transformation scene from American Werewolf in London at like 4 or 5 years old, and that fucked me up. And I said, I see why it's
What?
the forbidden fruit now because I don't want no part of this. So for a few years, I wasn't allowed to watch any horror movies. So my father would rent them, and I would hear them. I would hear him watching them, and sometimes I would take a peek into the room, and he would kick me out. Like, "Oh boy, it's ain't for you.
Mm.
Get out of here." And
Okay.
some movies I could remember him watching was like Elm Street 2 and
Hmm.
Aliens, The Fly, and he would always kick me out. But yeah,
Right.
but my introduction was Michael Jackson Thriller. Like that was my first taste of the horror genre.
Hold on one second. Mr. Rogers, do you still hear do you hear an echo still, or is it? I might just have my headphones up too loud. That's probably why. But but yeah, that's interesting that like Thriller would be your first. Because I would have never thought about that.
Mhm.
Like a music video would be your first introduction to horror. Like that's
Yeah,
kind of interesting.
yeah,
Like I said, my was like Puppet Master, Child's Play, just a lot of the Goosebumps stuff. That's what I can just because as I get older, I just start to forget shit a little bit. Just like it slowly starts to come back to me, but then like that stuff used to terrify me as a kid. Like I used to like have really bad nightmares. Like Chucky, I always had my night light and shit.
right.
Um, okay, where no problem. But yeah, it's just yeah. Yeah, just like Goosebumps, watching like the Haunted Mask. There was this one Goosebumps episode or special, whatever they had. It was called Werewolf by Fever Swamp. I don't know what it was about that shit that scared the fuck out of me as a kid. But then when I go back and rewatch it, it's just so super fucking corny. It's so interesting though, like when you watch movies when you're younger
Yeah.
and then compare it to when you watch it when you're older. Because I could tell you straight up, like out of all the classic slashers, um, Mike Myers never scared me. Like I
Right.
never found him to be scary. Like Jason, scary as shit.
Mm-hmm.
Freddy, scary as shit. Didn't really watch Hellraiser like that. Texas Chainsaw Massacre for sure. Like I remember when
Yeah.
the 2003 one came out, I was like, I was in my teens at that time. That was still effective. You know, I thought that was one of the better remakes they came out with. That's always gonna be my favorite version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But that's interesting that Thriller was your first time. Like
Yeah.
when you saw Thriller, did it like freak you out or were you just like intrigued by it?
The when he transformed into the werewolf, that fucked me up a little bit. But the zombie stuff didn't scare me. I thought it was actually kind of cool. So that's why I thought I had the testicular fortitude to handle more horror. I was like, well, Dad, I can handle I can handle this stuff now. I was wrong. When he showed me the transformation scene from Werewolf in London, I wasn't ready. I was not ready.
Oh well, when we welcome first time in here, Mr. Rogers Reviews. First time a TikTok creator, you know what I'm saying, has been on my platform. I appreciate you pulling up, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, no problem, man. I told you, but that migraine earlier was kicking my ass though. But that Excedrin popped me some Excedrin. Now I'm good now. So what's good with everybody?
All right, what's
Yeah, we
up,
just
bro?
chilling, just chopping it up. But just talking about like the horror that made us like what was your first exposure to horror? Who got you into it or did you kind of stumble upon it by yourself?
Um, I stumbled probably. I pretty much like. I think my family like is really into it because one, my birthday is in October, so that was just like always the time. Halloween, going trick or treat and all that stuff. I was always hyper around my birthday, and just the spooky season in general just always drove me to it. Um, Chuck, like I heard you say Child's Play earlier. I was like, yeah, that's my shit. Like I love Chucky. Like
Mm,
all 6, 7 films, the series, the damn. I even watched the reboot, and it was the 2019 to me was it wasn't Charles B. Ray though,
yeah.
uh, but I think you said Fly, Exorcist. Yes, but hold on, let me get this next. The
It's good.
Fly, my little man. He's gonna always try to be on.
Yeah, it's all good. Don't worry
um,
about it.
man, but you were saying the Werewolf London fucked you up? Candyman.
No, it was the Goosebumps episode, the Werewolf by Fever Swamp or some shit like that. I forget the actual title of it, but
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, when I went back and rewatched it as I'm older, I'm like, yo, this shit was corny. But like Haunted Mask still like holds up like heavy. Like that's pretty scary just for like kids, and I feel like it's scarier than most things that come out nowadays. But yeah, just like Goosebumps and just Are You Afraid of the Dark? I've
Oh, yeah.
always liked that, and
What's
you know,
the?
I
Sorry, I ain't want to say. What's the
no,
age?
go ahead.
What's the age range? There? 'Cause I don't think I ever asked you how old you was, Bert.
I'm 32,
Okay, okay.
but but
Damn.
yeah, I just turned 32. You know what I'm saying? I'm an old head now. I've been old head. I feel like an old head. Like
Hey
Oh
man,
shit, man! I got you about 12 years, bro. I'll be 44
yeah, I
tomorrow.
know.
hey, I'm
God,
I turned 34 in a couple of months, a month and a half. So,
golly.
you
I was about to say because when you said Goosebumps, like I was a teenager because my brother's 7 years younger than me, so my brother collected all the Goosebumps books. So I
know.
remember Goosebumps and everything, but like at the time I was a teenager, so Goosebumps is like light to me, you know.
Goosebumps.
You never watched the series?
No, I never watched the series, but my brother had like the whole collection because the Scholastic books that when you in
Yeah.
class and you order the books, like he had the whole
Yeah.
collection. So
Hmm.
I read all the books, but I never watched the series.
Oh man,
Watch
that's really
watch
good.
Haunted Mask. Watch Haunted Mask. It's on
Mm.
Netflix.
The Haunted Mask. That's the one where they get attached to the body and
Yeah.
take it over. Yeah, that one. The one that was for me was Slappy. Slappy was
Yeah.
because I
I
read Slappy, so it was just like, oh shit.
yeah, I fucked up because like my nephew at the time, he was like 4 years old. So I was like, he could probably handle Goosebumps. I put on the Night of the Living Dummy. I was like, that shit scarred him for life. I was like, yeah, I fucked
Yeah.
up.
Well, you know, well, it was funny. Real quick. Like I said, my introduction was Thriller, so I was kind of eased in the horror. But being that I was an older brother, now my brother, if he was on here, he would say, "Yeah, my older brother fucked me up," because the first thing I showed him was the first Elm Street, and he was,
Mm.
I think my brother was 3 at the time, and I said, "Bro, check this out," and I showed him the first Freddy, and when I say for like maybe 2 months straight, we had to sleep with the light on. Because
Bruh,
every time I would turn the light off, that nigga start crying.
you
You know what I'm
sound
saying?
like my older brother.
Even when I thought he was asleep, like I hear him snoring, right? And as soon as I turn that light off, all I hear is, "Eh." I'm like, Ben, I said, man, what you crying for? Frank Koo gonna get me.
Freaking good give me that. That's funny as hell.
Oh,
That shit
that's
used to fuck me up though. Like when like Child's Play, I always like because I used to have like bunk beds. Me and my brother used to like share a room, and I had a nightlight. And my house at the time was old as hell. It'd make noise. It still makes noise. At, like what I'm saying, it would make noise and shit like that.
Mhm.
And I always think it would like be little like Chucky's little ass feet. Like he'd just open up my door and walk
Yeah.
up to me and shit. That's always like I had a very vivid imagination, but I don't know what it is. I think like the more you watch that as a kid, you just accepted it, and then like as you got older and older and stuff like that, you just really
yeah.
enjoy it more. It just becomes more of a thrill.
Like your brain manifests it pretty much. Like
Yeah.
it just grows into your psyche. And it's like, yo,
Hmm.
it's either you're
Yeah.
gonna fuck with it or you're gonna be terrified of it. And there's no in between.
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah.
that was me with Chucky. Because Chucky never scared me, but I fuck with Chucky. Like he was the villain that you love to hate, you know. So
Yeah.
when I would watch Child's Play, I watched it just. Yeah, actually, I was rooting for Chucky. You know, I wanted Chucky to take Andy out because you know he was that entertaining. You know what I mean? But yeah, Child's Play never scared me though. Nah.
Could you imagine that though? Like if that's how the first Child's Play like played out, like
Yeah.
he actually accomplished what he set out to
Mhm.
do and just killed Andy and stuff like
Right.
That would have set the world on fire. There would have been so many mad parents.
that. Yeah, but how you kill some kids? I was like, people be too scared to like harm kids. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
it just raises the stakes and stuff. It just makes it less
Yeah. Yeah.
predictable. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If you do it in a tasteful way, obviously, don't like.
I love it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love when it's a bad ending.
Hmm.
Like the first Jeepers Creepers, and I know it's like
Mm.
taboo about
Yeah.
the creator and shit, but fuck him, he a piece of shit and all that. But the
He's
first
back.
Jeepers Creepers fucked me up so much because he actually accomplished what he wanted to do, and I was just like, yo. And then like
Mhm.
the ending of him screaming and everything, I was
Right.
like, yo, that
Right.
shit, that right there is horror. That's top
Yeah.
notch right there.
What
But
was the what would you say like? What horror movie or whatever thing like had the biggest effect on you? Like really like kind of traumatized you? Like what would that movie be? Rashad?
Candyman. Oh, go ahead, sorry. Yeah.
Oh, you asking me? Um, like I said, that werewolf transformation in Werewolf of London, like that's what really kept me from watching horror movies for a while. But I gotta say that that first Elm Street, and to this day, is still my favorite horror movie of all time. That first Nightmare on Elm Street,
That first one.
like
Yeah.
had the big like I was scared to go to sleep. You know, well, actually, technically, I saw the third one first. I saw Dream Warriors first, and I enjoyed it. And
Ooh.
I was too chicken to watch the second one. But it's something about that first movie. When I watched that first one, I was scared to go to sleep, man.
I was gonna say you
I
probably
had
had
some
like a.
sleepless nights. So yeah, I got to that first Elm Street.
I was gonna say
What
that
up,
third one.
Anto?
Oh, go ahead.
What up, Vince?
But go ahead. You finished, Rashad?
Yeah.
Okay. Rogers, you said Candyman.
Candyman, bro.
What
Candyman,
was it about Candyman that got you?
bro. It was just so gritty. It was
Mhm.
just. It was the way they filmed it. Like it wasn't glossy or nothing like that. It was like that old
Mm,
school.
raw.
8mm type shit. Blood everywhere, like when he killed somebody, it was a mess. Like he put on a show type shit. And it didn't the director wasn't scared to like cut away from it. Like it was you see the hook going through somebody and it is like a maybe 2 or 3 shot of the bloody hook just swinging around, blood spilling out the person's mouth. And I saw this at when came out like at 97, 96.
I was 90, 92.
92?
Yeah.
So my first time seeing it probably like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
That shit, bro, my aunt didn't give a fuck. She was just like, yeah, we about to I got this movie from movie gallery. We about to have a good night. I'm like, yeah, I like horror movies. And I'm thinking like, Casper. Something like Candyman. It can't be that bad. Bro, I was fucked up for months, years. My dad has a story of me because they ended up buying the VHS like later. So my dad has a story of me stealing the VHS tape and ripping out the tape and everything, like just trying to destroy it because I'm like, we not watching this shit no more. So,
wow.
That's funny.
So now,
yeah.
Now I can watch it, in certain things. But yeah, that one for me. And Tony Todd just it's
Dude,
yeah.
voice, bro. That voice,
Yeah.
when Candyman first spoke, Helen, I'm like, God, that shit gave me
Be
chills.
my victim.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
Like
yeah.
5'6", walking around like, bro, you too big for this.
With a hook. Yeah. But what up, Anzo? How you been, bro?
I'm good, man. How you guys doing?
Good. But we're just going over like the horror that made us. Like, what were some of the horror movies that influenced you, or did you kind of did somebody kind of pass it down to you, or did you just kind of stumble upon it yourself?
Well, I'm a little bit older than you guys, so my first American Werewolf in London, right? I was maybe about 8 years old when that movie came out, around there, whatever, And we had went to go visit some family, went to a drive-through to watch it. And my parents wouldn't let me watch it. They're like, no, you can't watch this movie. So we're in a van and I had to go in the back of my dad. And then the van, my dad was passed out in the back. So I kept trying to peep to watch the movie because I kept hearing all kinds of stuff. And I happened to look, and the part I looked at was when the dude was sitting in the chair and he's a full skeleton. That shit got me scared for months. I had to sleep with the light on, you know what I mean? And my mom had to stay in the bedroom until I fell asleep because of that. And I guess I just like the feeling because I've always been hooked on horror movies ever since. But they used to scare the crap out of me, bro. Trust me.
Yeah. It's just the thrill of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just something about it. It's just, it's like, I appreciate it way more as when I get older because it's just like looking back at just where it started, like even past like Nosferatu, and just seeing where it's like kind of evolved to, like going from that to Dracula, the monster verse and stuff. That was like kind of pretty much the first like cinematic universe and stuff like that. And then and just watching like a lot of horror documentaries and them kind of like breaking down the history on like certain like events would happen in real life would reflect whatever is going on in horror and stuff like that. And with World War II, that kind of opened the doors for like Godzilla and stuff because of the nuclear war and all that. And you know what I'm saying? Like it's just very fascinating to me once you kind of get into like the actual history and and just even some of the older films, just like a lot of those 70s horror movies I really like, going into the 80s with the slashers and seeing what inspired that and like Hitchcock stuff. And it's just a lot. It's just so much to like really appreciate and stuff. Like,
you see,
it's
the one thing I feel like horror movies missing nowadays is the jump scare, right? A lot of them moved to gore and stuff like that, and they figured the gore stuff. But what used to get me was the jump scares, where you're not expecting nothing, and then boom, something jumps out, and you're like, oh, you know what I mean? And I think a lot of horror movies have got away from that, and I wish they would get back to the jump scares. They could cut down on a lot of the gore. The gore is okay, but we've seen it all before. but I want them to
Yeah.
like jump scare you. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking for.
I like a
Yeah,
good balance.
I feel like sometimes like the movies can like be too reliant on jump scares, or where it's like too predictable. They got to get better
Right,
with
right.
the jump scares.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Insidious,
Like I would, like
Insidious
I don't
5
know
is
if any.
a prime example of that though.
Yeah, yeah,
Insidious 5 is just all jump scares. They do a pretty decent job on setting it up, but it's so reliant on the jump scares to be scary. It doesn't it when they did try to build up the horror and the tension of it, they kind of
mm,
just ended it.
yeah. Right, right. And
Yeah, well, yeah.
like
I'm sorry. Good, good.
no, I was just saying for like example, I don't know if anybody checked out Mike Flanagan's show he came out with last year, Midnight Club, where literally the first episode they like broke the record for the most jump scares. So it's like, bro, this shit's ridiculous now. It's just like literally like every 5 seconds, like it's just I like when shit is subtle or they just get really creative with it. Like take for like a modern horror movie like The Conjuring,
Mhm.
where he would just use like there would be nothing in the corner, but it's just like the actor, the kid actors, whatever, would just like see something and just make it so believable and just like, yo, what
Mhm.
the hell are they seeing and stuff like certain things like that. And I'm more of like the psychological horror type of, you know what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
next to like slashers. Like my favorite horror movie is always going to be The Shining and stuff. I always like
Mhm.
just that setting and how it just like eases you into it. Similar to like how The Exorcist kind of like just eases you into it. It's just very unsettling at times, but then like it just flips on a switch, like on a dime and stuff. So that stuff is interesting.
Well, I tell you how effective The Shining was. When I first watched The Shining, I didn't like it because in the '80s there was like an abundance of slasher movies. Like every time you turn around, there was another slash movie coming out, and I was late
Mhm.
watching The Shining. So when I watched The Shining, I said, this is boring. I didn't like it, but something strange happened after I finished the movie. When I turned it off, I said, "Man, I was kind of whack. I'm taking that back to Blockbuster." But the more I kept thinking about the movie, like for some reason I could not stop thinking about it. As whack as I said it was, it just stayed like some of the imagery and like the stuff that happened, it stayed with me. And next thing you know, I'm like, wait a minute, I think I'm kind of creeped out right now. Like I
That's what
might want to
makes
sleep
it
with the light
amazing.
on. It was a strange experience. Like I haven't had a movie done that to me before where I hated it, but then when I thought about it, I said, yeah, that shit was kind of scary.
Mhm. It sticks with you.
It stays with you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony says I watch scary movies and I had to watch cartoons immediately after to kind of get your mind out. Yeah, yeah,
You
you
gotta
had to do
reset. You
something
gotta
to
reset. That's
yeah, to cleanse your palate.
I had that same experience with Hereditary. When I first watched Hereditary, I was like, yeah, it was cool, but it wasn't like scary or whatever, right? Then I started thinking about the naked man in the corner, and I started thinking
Mm,
about the fuck how everything was set up from the very beginning before the movie
right.
even started, and I just started thinking about the dialogue. So I was like, hold on, let me go watch this shit again. And I watched it again. I had a totally different experience from the first time because I'm seeing the ghost in the shadow, and I'm seeing how the lady was sitting. I was like, yo, this shit is brilliant, yo.
Yeah, it's really well crafted and like that was a very slow burn horror movie too. And
Oh,
just like once they went to that party and like the his sister lost her head and shit, like that's where shit gets
mhm.
crazy. I was like, yeah, I like that more than Midsummer, most definitely. I didn't mind Midsummer. I understand that like that's like kind of very mixed with a lot of people, but
Mhm.
you know
I
what I'm
really
saying.
enjoyed Midsummer. Like after I really studied the Hereditary a little more, I got his style. So I was looking
Mm,
for a lot of stuff when I watched Midsummer, and I was like, "Yo, this motherfucker can pack a lot of stuff in it." Bo is Afraid is completely different from both of those though. Like Bo is
yeah,
Afraid was just is not what I expected it to be. It is just a complete experience that I'm gonna have to watch again because I know I don't really fully understand it. But yeah, is
yeah.
that
I understand what they were going for, but then like that whole shit, at the end with the attic and shit, I was like, okay,
yeah
that kind of like threw me the fuck off. But everything with his mom, I kind of understood, and just like
yeah
you're
yeah.
just seeing his like mind like collapse like slowly
Hmm.
throughout the whole movie and stuff. Like,
The
but it's
sex
not.
scene.
It's one of those movies. It's not going to be for everybody. Some people will like will be able to get the
Yeah.
message.
Yeah.
You know,
I took a shit on Hereditary. I ain't gonna lie, man. I mean, yo, maybe like Mr. Rogers review, man. Maybe I gotta watch it again. When I reviewed that movie, I took a heaping pile of Triceratops shit on that movie. I said, "What the fuck was this?" Even the old lady I was sitting next to me when we was walking out, I said, "Is it just me? Or was that movie terrible?" She's like, "Yeah, I didn't get it." I said, "Well, I'm not the only one."
Oh, no, you're not gonna be the only one. You can always find somebody that agree with you for sure.
yeah, me and Mr. Rogers, you know, say we disagree on Talk to Me and stuff like it, and
Now,
it's
Talk to Me was
interesting.
tight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but like, you know, I can understand. I see like that it's not going to be for everybody, or some
Right.
people might, you know, not really understand. And I think it might have something to do with it being Australian horror, because Australian horror is very different. Because like the Babadook gets a lot of hate, and I was like, the Babadook is actually really good. Like,
Oh,
I like the
Babadook was
Babadook.
brilliant.
I like
Babadook
the
was
Babadook.
brilliant. Yeah.
When it comes to Talk to Me though, it was just like
mhm.
it had a couple cliche things in it, and I called it, and I was mad at myself because I can't turn my brain off most of the time, and I'm like, bro, at the end of this shit, I don't want to spoil it for nobody who haven't seen it yet, but I called the ending, like to the not the hospital stuff, but like the very end. I called it for a minute, and it made me mad. Even though I thought,
Yeah.
I fucking
But
knew it.
but what I liked about the premise of Talk to Me is that like you could literally go the anthology route and just like it could just be from
Yeah,
anybody's
it could be
perspective.
anybody.
I think
Yeah.
that's what's really dope about it, and I think we need more of that with horror, like more anthologies, like more creep show type.
And
Type,
here's what I said. I don't know if you saw the tweet though, but I was like, it's gonna have especially when the sequel is announced. I said it's gonna have that Ouija and Annabelle effect, where the second one is gonna be way better. Like I know for a fact, like because Ouija 2 was just fucking. I just knew it was gonna be trash from seeing first Ouija. I was like, this is gonna be trash.
I didn't watch either of those.
Nah, this one was really good.
It's sort of like Annabelle, the Annabelle movies.
Yeah,
like the first one was trash, but the second one was dope.
Creation was really good. Creation was really good, and I didn't know the director that did Lights Out was the one who did Creation.
Oh, so Lights Out was tight too. Lights Out was
that was creative. That's pretty creative.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what I liked about Talk to Me was the simplicity of it. I think a lot of horror movies now, maybe I'm tripping, but horror movies now are trying to be so not so educated,
it's
but
elevated
like
horror. That's what they calling it.
Yeah, elevated, like complicated. Like that's what we're trying to make you think, and then when you think, you get I want simplistic shit, man.
Yeah,
that's why I love Terrifier, because Terrifier is just straight up Art the Clown with his bag of fucking goodies, fucking people up. You know what I'm saying?
Gory as hell.
That's my kind of horror, man. I like that cheesy, that greasy, cheesy ass hamburger, man. I don't want no filet mignon all the damn time, man. You know what I'm saying? Give me some fast food horror.
Sometimes it is good to just turn your brain off and just go.
Yeah. I like Terrifier because I feel like that to me, and I forget exactly what the anthology movie that he was introduced in.
Was it All Hallows Eve or something like that?
Yeah, All Hallows Eve. That shit was fucked up. That shit was crazy. I just recently watched that. I was like, oh damn. So I was watching the Hell House LLC, and then I went to just watch the All Hallows Eve and stuff. I was just in that mode and stuff, and I just like Terrifier, how just raw it is, and just how much he was able to do with just such a small budget, and it just kind of goes back to those old 80s like splatter type horror movies.
Simplistic horror, like that horror, like I said, where it was that hidden section in the video store that you couldn't go to, and it was that forbidden fruit, man. And it's like, and the old saying of like what you can't have, you want it even more. So I always wanted more horror just because I couldn't watch it. I did. Oh shit!
I'm big on it though.
Anzo, did you get around to watching Talk to Me?
No, I did not.
You should probably go watch it tomorrow for Cinema Day.
I didn't see Talk to Me. I didn't see Terrifier or those movies. I haven't seen those yet.
Man, you gotta check out Terrifier. Terrifier 1 and 2, I think, are still on Tubi.
Yeah, I know.
You should definitely check out.
Tubi,
you should definitely check those out.
Yeah, I was about to do a video on like hidden gems on Tubi, whatever, and everything I was putting up was like expired 10 days, expired 10. I was like, God damn.
Shit. I just watched a new joint today that actually for some reason AMC would not play it at my theater, but Cobweb, y'all heard of that one?
I haven't watched that one yet.
Yeah, Cobweb was really good.
Cobweb was good. I was surprised. That shocked me, man. I was like, whoa, this was if you have a fear of spiders, beware.
Yeah, it's up there.
Arachnophobia.
Arachnophobia almost got me.
Yeah, if you have a fear of spiders, there's some moments that's gonna really make your skin crawl.
So it's like
I'm gonna leave it at that.
almost messed up. Then I saw 8-legged freaks, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like with Cobweb, like don't even watch the trailer. Just go into it like blind as possible.
Mhm.
Like it's definitely like because I seen somebody. I think I saw on TikTok somebody compared it to like Barbarian, how it's just like unpredictable at times and stuff like that. But yeah, it seems like a lot of new horror.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of new horror though recently has just really been killing it compared to like the legacy stuff. A lot of the legacy stuff has seemed to be like been really hit or miss. Like Halloween Ends, like I feel like it's too much hate, or just like it's just I feel like people are a little extra with it. Like I can understand like you would want it to play out X, Y, and Z. It's nowhere near as bad as like Resurrection or 5 and 6 and shit like that. Like
nah.
I mean, especially when you see what they were going for. I think because what they were trying to go for, I could respect it. So I would never argue and say it's a great movie, but I didn't mind it. I thought that it was kind of creative what they were trying to do with it, but the execution was it didn't quite stick the landing. But I thought it was decent. I didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't like them. My whole process, my whole thing was with Halloween, the first one that came out, 2018. I was just like it just felt like too many writers was in the room. Like it was just too many writers. Like they had too many subplots going on. Like it was you had Terminator 2 subplot of Jamie Lee Curtis supposed to be like Sarah Connor. Then you had the legacy subplot of like who's going to be the next person up, either the mama or the granddaughter. Then you had these. Who's the other one? I was trying to like bring the other characters back into it, like everybody that's in the town. So it's like everybody trying to gang up on them. So it was like I was like, bro, y'all could have just stuck to one thing. This shit could have been really simple. But that was my mindset of like when you say it's not simplicity. I was like it was a little too complicated for me. But the kills was killing. He had some good kills. The second one, that's when it took like a deep end. And I was like, bro, this shit.
The second was entertaining, man. I was laughing my ass off, bro. Look, it was entertaining.
Evil Dies Tonight. Like I was like, bro, if I had $1 for every time Tommy said that shit, bro, he bought that shit. He literally like drove everybody to their grave, bro. Like if anybody's to blame, it's Tommy. Like for like gaslighting motherfuckers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, then I didn't like the retconning of everything. I felt like they could have just kept everything how it was, and it still would have been the same type of movie. Like it really wasn't a need to retcon everything.
I even like the idea, like what they were trying to go for with Halloween 3 with the Seasons of the Witches. Like they should just take that name and just make an anthology series. That would be brilliant.
And Friday the 13th, they both was supposed to be an anthology series, but they was like, you know what, people are loving this, this idea, so let's bring it back. And I don't think Season of the Witch made that much money either.
Well, that's why they had to bring Michael back because the movie flopped that bad. And I was one of those people when I saw Season of the Witch, I was expecting Michael Myers, and I said, "Where's Michael at?" Yeah, and I think a lot of people was thrown off, so they said, "Well, let's bring the shape back and stick to the formula."
And by that time, they didn't know what to do with his character, so that's why a lot of his background changed. It went from him being just a crazy person to him being a baby from a cult. Like what the?
Yeah.
What?
And Perp, going back to what you were saying earlier, how you said Michael Myers never scared you, and he never scared me either. But the way John Carpenter directed that first Halloween, the first Halloween was a scary. The first Halloween was a scary film, but Michael Myers never really scared me. But I don't know, just the way he would have him breathing certain shots that he would do. Sometimes he would cut to him.
And it's interesting that Black Christmas really inspired that movie, like the way like they were doing those POV shots and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've never
Yeah,
been
so
a
the movie,
Halloween
yes, so the
fan.
movie was scary, but just if you just depend on Michael Myers himself to make it scary, you're not gonna win. You have to really you have to put him in a film that's gonna creep. You have to like be creative and creep the audience out, kind of like Jaws. If you see
Yeah.
Bruce the shark, fuck out of here. It's a mechanical shark. But the way Spielberg executed that film, where you barely saw the shark and that shit just stayed with you.
Right.
I got something to say about that. Big about say.
Anzo, what were you saying?
I've never been a Halloween fan. Like I've never been a fan of those movies.
Not even the new ones neither.
I stopped watching after the Busta Rhymes one.
That-
Once that Busta Rhymes one came out, I'm like, I am done.
Did you watch them all though? Like, did you?
Up until the Busta Rhymes one. Yeah. Then after that,
What was your thought? What was your thoughts on like the season of which? Did you of them just kind of going away from Mike Myers?
Well, it's always been Mike Myers. So anytime you go away from him, it kind of it's not Halloween to me, you know. My dad's always been Freddy. Like I've always been a big Freddy fan. You know what I mean? And that first one pretty much was like really scary. I think after the first one, they started getting to a lot of the jokey stuff, right? But the first one was actually scary.
Right. 1 and 2. Yeah, that second one.
Yeah.
Freddy didn't play around that second one either, man. People forget like the part Elm Street 2 is the Black Sheep series, but Freddy was creepy in that one as well.
Yeah, he was. It just the outsider was the first male scream queen.
Right. They always kind of bring that one up. Like a lot of people just skip that one. That shit was. I feel wasn't that the only one that it wasn't Robert Englund at first or something? They recasted it.
Yeah, it was one scene. One scene in the shower. They had a double come in and they shot that one scene and that was it.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Oh, I love that documentary. Never Sleeps Again. I love that documentary.
Yeah, that's a long ass documentary.
It's long.
It's like 4 hours. God damn. Yeah. But another dope documentary that if you guys got Shudder is A Leap of Faith. That's like the director of the Exorcist. He that was a fantastic fucking documentary. I was just like, that's so inspirational and just that shit was dope.
The Exorcist. That's another one. I couldn't watch The Exorcist.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I was like 10 or 11, and when my mom finally said, "Okay, you could probably watch it now." But yeah, that was another one that boy, you can't watch this one. The Exorcist. No.
Yeah. Richard, you said something about Jaws, about how you love how Spielberg executed it, right?
Right.
A lot of people didn't like Jordan Peele's Nope, but that's how I feel about Nope. I love Nope. I thought it was a very well shot movie. The things that he did, it pretty much just Jaws in the sky, and it was just, and a lot of people just like they so focused on you turn into a bunch of sheets at the end. I'm like, I don't care about that.
No. You know what it was? Because people were expecting it to be a straight up horror movie.
Yeah. That's what
you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Where it's more of just a sci-fi with like horror elements, like where little kids was in the shed. That shit was crazy. I was like, oh man. But
my homeboy, he called me up. He was like, "Yo, I was so mad when they weren't the real aliens."
Me too. That scene, me too. I was like, "Oh man," and I wasn't a fan of Nope, right? Because I was expecting like a real type of horror movie. So I got into watching. I'm like, this isn't really what I expected, but I think I should watch it again to see if it changes. But
you have a different perspective.
Definitely give them a try, man.
Yeah, Nope. I tried watching Nope a second time, and the second time I fell asleep on it. Nope just did it. Now shout out to Q Reviews. Shout out to Q. Yo, Q Reviews really liked the movie, and Q really tried to sell me on it. Like he really broke it down because I was confused as fuck. Even when he tried to break it down, I was like, bro, I think I like your version of your breakdown of the movie more than the movie itself.
If you pay attention to that opening quote at the beginning of the movie, that's the whole theme.
Yeah,
that's it's just the that was pretty much just the whole
of filth or whatever, right? So basically, so if you look at it, if you trying to
spectacles.
Figure it out, and this and third, it's gonna attack you. If you don't, if you leave it alone, mind your business, you're good. And that's Nope is basically what black people say when they don't want it. They're gonna mind their business when they see some fucked up shit. I'm like, nope, not gonna do it. So that's why. And the scene of one of the best scenes I've seen in like I don't know in any horror movie. I wouldn't say any horror movie, but like in at least the past 5-10 years, is the blood shot, coming down. He like basically taking the shit on the house when it was he was just over the house and all the blood started oozing down.
That was great.
Was beautiful. I said, God damn, that's dope. And
especially in IMAX.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, and the find out that it wasn't a toy figure, they actually did it over the house. And it wasn't just no illusion. They actually did the shit. That shit, I was like, bro, that is just some genius shit, bro. That's just some genius shit.
Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil. Right. He shall appear.
What up, Q?
I was just talking about your ass, man.
So, Q, what were some of your first introductions to horror, and like, you know, what got you into it?
Man, this go way back. So like ever since I can remember, I probably was watching horror. Yeah, since I was like 3. I believe. Yeah. So what got
me on Demon Time?
Yeah. I was born on Demon Time. So first horror I really remember seeing was probably like Dawn of the Dead, the 78 one. Yeah, and that one really messed me up because they had weird makeup and they was eating people, like they was in the projects and eating people and shit. I was like, yeah, that shit kind of crazy, yo. So yeah. And then ever since then, my grandmother was really addicted to horror, so she used to watch The Exorcist on repeat. So like I was desensitized by The Exorcist when I was little. Like, oh yeah, this is cool because she's throwing up and she's like evil. Like I didn't, you know what I'm saying, I didn't really peep how crazy it was. So I got in college. It was raining one day. I was like, oh yeah, this film is pure motherfucking evil. So scared the shit out of me. I had to turn the bath water road and shit. I was scared as shit. I was like, oh okay.
If you have Shudder, you gotta watch the documentary Leap of Faith. Yeah, where the director talks about like just the whole film and just how he came about, like the sounds of Reagan's voice. Like that shit was so crazy how they brought that together. I was like, yo, that's some raw shit.
Yeah. I gotta watch that. Yeah, I know they had that old smoking lady. You know what I'm saying? Like she used to chain smoke, so she had that. Your mother said.
Yeah, I'll just say this. Like they got this one lady, whatever. She's like, yeah, you got to put me in a room with priests, tie me down, give me some rotten eggs and shit like that, and that's how she was doing all this stuff to come up with the voices. It was like 5 different voices coming out of it. But shout outs to K-Dot for the super sticker. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but the Exorcist is brilliant though. Like that, that's why I said like we haven't gotten a better possession movie than that. And I feel like with Talk to Me, I know people are gonna be mixed with it. I think they did enough to just it kind of refreshing. It's just like you got random items, don't really know the clear history of possessing people different ways, and they're just like, getting high off it, like not knowing that you're letting all these spirits in. And
it was a metaphor for addiction, I think too.
It probably was me, but you was breaking up a little bit. Now I want to get out there. It's not that I didn't like Talk to Me. I just think people overhyped it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't exactly call it a masterpiece, but as far as horror movies I've seen this year, it's probably one of the better ones I've seen this year.
Yeah. How do y'all feel about Evil Dead Rise?
That was fun too.
I love Rise. I ain't like it.
That was solid.
I wish that one was better.
I've been more, like I said, I just been kind of just more drawn to more of the newer horror stuff than like the legacy. Like I'm always going to check out either or, but like I just feel like whenever it's like a new horror, I'm just like I'm going to always go support that because there's so many dope new horror movies that people don't even know about, or you know, that are now kind of getting big. Like one that came out in 2020, Host, that was pretty interesting. Like a different kind of, if you remember, if you remember, like Unfriended. If you remember Unfriended, that was like that was definitely a better version of that, you know, and just and the fact that like all the casts use their real names and they're in their actual houses and stuff like that, and just to save money and stuff. I was like, yeah, it's just it's just the way that people are able to kind of create these movies with such small budgets. They don't need like $100 million horror movie. That's unnecessary as fuck. But you know,
I would say this: a YouTuber that does a great job. Y'all probably he does the kill count, dead meat, James Janice or whatever. Before I started doing content, I used to watch his shit faithfully. Like every time he popped something out, because when he first did it, he was just doing kill count. Now he goes into like the making of it and the what he sometimes have interviews with the directors or the writers or whatever, and he just been blowing up. And I'm like, man, shit, that's kind of on the level I want to be on. And he did the host, and he was showing how they was doing the practical effects. People come in like maybe two, or if only two people, because of COVID and everything. So it was dope as hell. Like one of the scenes, they actually used her real boyfriend, like how you said, using their real names and stuff like that. I thought that was dope as hell. Like I was like, yo, that's crazy.
Yeah,
they took advantage of being on lockdown to the next level.
Man.
yeah, but you just create like a movie out of nothing, and you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how.
Alonzo, you saying something?
Oh no, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like Texas Chainsaw was made on a very, very small budget, you know, in 73, 74, and it made like 30 million at the time, and that was like unheard of.
Yeah. And you know what trips me out about that movie is it has no blood really in it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I almost forgot about the stream because I've been playing the game so heavy. I was like, oh, I looked up. I was like,
I've been getting into it.
Yeah.
I've just been playing by myself. It's definitely a game that you gotta like play with a group of friends or something like that. But you can always enjoy it too by yourself. I just feel like they need to definitely get like a timer on that, you know, because sometimes some games be going on forever. Like, yo, where
the game? Like Friday, because Friday is like what, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Damn, I haven't played it yet. The only new game.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I haven't played
I play as the killers. Yeah, I play as the hitchhiker. So like, you know what I'm saying? I got him leveled up. He like quick and like creepy and set the trap, chase him down and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Feed the grandpa.
Yeah, feed the
grandpa. I was
grandpa.
Saying, is the grandpa on
He
game?
starts going crazy.
Yeah, you gotta feed him.
You gotta feed him blood.
Hit a grandpa. Hit the bitch.
Can I do a question real quick?
Go ahead.
You know how anime got the big three, right? And pretty much like Bleach is the black sheep of the big three, like the underrated one.
Right.
Horror. Who is your big three, and who do you think is the underrated one?
That could be anything, or like slashers.
It could be any slashers. Like who's your big three? Like for example, mine is Jason, Freddy, and I ain't gonna lie, Jason, Freddy, and Michael Myers is like the big three of slashers, right? In my mind, and I feel like maybe Jason sometimes is the underrated one, because a lot of people do fuck with Michael Myers, a lot of people fuck with Freddy, but people kind of like just throw Jason under the bus. Like, okay, he just Jason. Maybe.
What?
Yeah.
Throw Jason under the bus.
I see a lot of people talk shit about Jason. Like I see a lot of people like Michael Myers.
Jason ruled the 80s, bro. People forget how popular
Jason
was.
will fuck Mike up, man.
Exactly.
Jason will fuck Mike up twice on Sunday.
Twitter debate with somebody a while ago about how when the Michael Myers movies first came back out, 2018. I had a long Twitter debate with a dude talking about, man, Michael killed Jason. Like, what? Are you serious?
Fuck out of here. Nah.
Jason kills people. You know what I'm saying? Like with whatever, like a corkscrew. You know what I'm saying? A hatchet, split you in half while you're in the shower, mush your shit in. You know what I'm saying? While you're in the shower naked. You know what I'm saying? Like yo,
bash you against the tree in a fucking sleeping bag and shit.
Yeah.
He got mommy issues, so he definitely going. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be extra with it.
And Jason loves to kill them when they're horror. Jason loves to kill people when they fucking. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, okay, you get it dead.
Actually, when you think about it too, because I was like, I feel like Ghostface kind of like, almost like, since like they're not like really making Friday the 13th content, he kind of like took that spot. I would say probably. I would say probably the big three would probably be like what right now, currently, it'd be like what Mike Myers, Ghostface.
Terrifying. Oops.
Oh, Art the Clown. Art the
Well,
Clown.
I would put him in a different class because he's more in like the newer. You know what I'm saying?
Newer,
I put
okay,
like
okay.
Art. I put Art with like Sam from Trick or Treat, and like
Right.
you put him like Jigsaw like with like the newer.
Okay,
You know,
okay.
The new
I
generation.
think but I definitely think that Ghostface is rising in popularity.
Dog. Here's the difference between Ghostface though. See, when Jason puts his hands on you, you ain't coming out alive. Ghostface, Ghostface, you have a good chance of getting away because especially that last movie. I mean, I know that yes, he was the most violent we've ever seen him, but he can't kill to save his life. How the fuck you stab?
It depends if it depends, but also depends if it's the cop dude, he gonna get your ass, bro.
Yeah.
he gonna get your ass, but that's what's interesting about Ghostface because it's always two of them or more. You know what I'm saying? You never know who it is. You know, it's just like it kind of makes it more realistic.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I ain't the baddest motherfucker in the world, but I feel like if it's a life or death situation, fight or flight, and you put me in a room with Ghostface, especially when I was in good shape, I'll fuck Ghostface up.
But that's the thing, though. Like he's very strategic.
I will take that knife. I will take that knife out you, and I will beat your motherfucking head in.
But that's the thing. That's the thing about Ghostface, though. Like that, like he plays mind games before he gets to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know where he's gonna be at. You know what I'm saying? He'll just call you and just be like, he's around, but you don't know where he's at. Like, he could be outside in your house already. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but isn't
that's true. But if we facing off, I'm gonna get him. Now, see, Jason, now if Jason coming up to me, I'm a Yakuza myself and just put the sword through my own goddamn chest because I ain't letting Jason do nothing to me, man.
No. Jason, if he see you like pretty much dead. Like like if you see Jason.
Shout outs to the brother that tried to throw hands with Jason and got his head knocked off. That's just fucking hilarious. Yeah, that shit was fucking hilarious. That's the funniest shit ever, bro. I was like, this is why I love horror.
That was the best part of that movie.
Yeah, it was.
He said, "Go ahead, I got him. Go ahead."
Take your best shot, motherfucker.
You know what? One franchise that is just seems to cannot get it right is Children of the Corn. Like Children of the Corn 2023 is just god awful. Like they literally had a corn monster. I was like, that's who you're gonna make as the one who walks behind the rows? Like terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. It's hilarious though. It's hilarious. It's worth watching just to laugh. Like it's so bad. It's funny.
Yeah, because I watched the first Children of the Corn. The rest of them was like all straight to DVD and VHS. Right. I was like,
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers were born.
Yeah, the rest of them was almost like Phantasm. The same thing. The first Phantasm was classic.
I gotta watch it.
Actually, Phantasm is fire too. Phantasm 2. That's when they came out with the balls and shit. You know what I'm saying? They was drilling people's heads and like.
Yeah. But I think after that second one, they did like 4 more sequels and
Those are like movies I haven't seen. I haven't seen Phantasm. I don't think I've seen Reanimator. I don't remember. I just remember seeing
Reanimator's tight.
Bride or Reanimator? You gotta check that one out. I think that was on Shudder.
What about Warlock? What about Warlock?
Oh yeah.
I just did a review for that. It don't stand up too good. The first Warlock. I just tell you that now.
The first one I like. I still like the first one. The other one is like.
I was like,
but RIP to the actor that he went missing.
Julian Sands. Yeah, he died in the woods.
He passed this year.
So that's the big three for me. It would be Freddy, Jason. Since I'm not a big fan of Michael Myers, I always put a Pinhead up there. I used to
Hellraiser shout out.
Yeah.
Talking about. I still ain't watched the 2023 Hellraiser.
There's like a lot of I've just been big Hellraiser. Like I always like his design.
You're chipping out Perp.
You sound like the Scream dude, you know.
Man, StreamYard, I don't know about y'all. I'll be seeing them StreamYard ads on YouTube, and I'll be wanting to curse that bitch out. Do you have problems with your guests and internet connections? Well, StreamYard has all that fixed. No,
Fuck
you ain't.
yeah, all the time. Yeah, all the time. Phone getting hot and shit. Make a goddamn app already. Make a goddamn app already. That sound fun?
Yeah, you sound good
you
now.
sound
You
good.
good now? You good now?
Okay. That's why I hate StreamYards, bro.
What were you,
Hate
what
it.
were you
Hate it
saying
so
though?
much.
What were you
What was
saying
I
though,
saying?
Kurt?
I don't remember.
A
Oh,
Hellraiser.
I
Hellraiser.
think you were saying
Hellraiser.
about him.
Yeah, it's just like I appreciate like Pinhead, like the design. I was never like a fan of the movies like that. I like the first one still, but
Yeah, the
first one
movie's
that,
not really that
wasn't
good. It's just like all about the special effects in those movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The gore and the
It's
design. And
definitely
shit. Like the
torture
movies
porn.
are,
Like
yeah, it's like
definitely torture porn.
I mentioned because one of the movies I got into early was Puppet Master. I was just like those are great movies. I like them
Yeah,
like for
they
what
are
they
good.
are. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what? I've never seen the Puppet Master movie. Surprisingly, I haven't
Word?
seen any.
Never
of them.
seen
Yeah,
one?
haven't
The
seen
last
it.
They got on
one
Tubi.
that just came out, that was actually pretty decent.
They're like the evil Toy Story. They're like evil Toy Story, like before
Okay.
Toy Story.
Yeah, they had
Okay,
some
'cause
cool
I
designs.
know of the characters, but I just never for some reason I never watched them.
Yeah, you gotta watch it, yo.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
hilarious
Yeah,
too.
Puppet Master movies. I can go way back. There's movies like Chud and all kinds
Chud.
of. You
What's
remember
CUD? What does that
Chud?
stand for? Cannibalistic underground dwelling. I fucked it up at the end.
Yeah.
Toxic Avenger. I gotta watch that.
Toxic
Toxic
Avenger, yeah.
is a B movie. They got another one coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
reboot,
isn't Peter Dinklage gonna play the Toxic Avenger?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
He kind of his face looked like it a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Damn.
Without the makeup. Not to hate him though. He do kind of look like Toxic. I hate shit.
Even revisiting the movie Demons, the first two Demons movies, like that
Oh, I
was
love
fucking
those
hilarious.
movies, son. Yeah, both
This
of those
is
are fire.
hilarious.
I
Yeah.
love
Fright
Demons.
Night.
That's like one of my favorite horror movies of all
Fright
time.
Night,
Demons.
Yeah,
Oh
Demons.
yeah, come on. You know I love Fright Night, bro. Yeah, that's my favorite. One of my
I ain't
favorite
like
all-time
the remake was good too.
The remake was good. Yeah, the remake was good.
movies. Well, I think what's his name did a great job. Colin Farrell. I think he did a
Colin
pretty
Farrell.
good job. But
And-
Jerry Damrish, the OG, I like. You can't like that dude.
OG is OG.
You know. Yeah, he's
Well, you
good.
know
but,
what?
like,
You know,
he
it's
did a
what's
great job.
being we talk horror now, man. I got a confession to make. So, as much as I love horror movies, Q, you know this about me. There's been movies that I avoided because as a kid, those box covers in the video stores were so scary that I said I am not going to watch that shit. So, Demons is one of them. Okay, I never watched Demons. I never watched Demons 2 because the cover freaked me out. Night of the Demons. Okay, never
Night of the
watched.
Demons. That's right. Yeah.
There's a movie called Popcorn that
Popcorn's fire. I just
freaked me out.
recently watched that.
Yeah, that
freaked
cover
me
was
out.
fucked up. Yeah.
And you probably gonna laugh at me for this one because in the 80s I had a fear of 80s rock bands that wore makeup and big hair like Twisted Sister. So there was a movie with Ozzy Osbourne called Trick or Treat. And I was too pussy to watch that, man. So
Fuck that little kid in there.
I'm making it a mission this year to face my fears and watch all them joints, man.
Yeah, I'm doing 61 Days of Horror starting on September 1st. So like, I'm gonna watch a lot of it. A lot of them. Yeah.
Content on that, yeah, because I'm a big horror fan.
Yeah. Oh, and Vamp with Grace Jones. Q, you know, it's Vamp with Grace
Jones.
Jones.
I kept saying
Vamp. Yeah.
How can you be a horror fan and scared of wanting to watch those movies? Because
those covers were fucked up. Those covers were scary though. Like the Demons cover is scary. Yeah. Night of the Demons one was scary because she was like in a dress, like she was the monster. Right. You know what I'm saying, with the red eyes and shit. Like you don't want to watch that shit as a kid. So
eating pizza, watching that. I don't want to know. Hell no.
Yeah,
we need some wacky shit. Like I wanted to make another Killer Clowns and Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. Like we need some some wacky shit. Like I just seen they're making like I've been waiting. I just want to watch this just based off the premise because I was like I've been waiting for them to make something like this because they got Cocaine Bear, something else, but they're now making like a horror movie that's surrounded by a sloth. I was like, that's perfect because I was like,
I've seen that. Yeah, Killer Sloth or some shit like that.
yeah, slaughterhouse or some shit.
Slaughterhouse.
Slaughterhouse.
Hey,
It's
Great.
hey,
Yeah.
what was the movie? Okay, what was the movie with the box cover where it's like somebody's pulling their mouth open, and there's like a eyeball or something inside them.
I know exactly what you're talking about because I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that.
Dead or something.
Is it called
Dead
Dead
Evil?
Alive. Dead Alive.
Dead or
Dead
Alive?
Alive. That's it. Dead Alive.
Yep.
I never seen
They
that
banned that
one.
in a lot of shit.
That's a great one. That's like
It's
that's
banned.
like the European Evil Dead 2. Yeah, you gotta watch that one. That one.
Dead Alive.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's that wouldn't. They took that off. That's not on no streaming site.
Yeah, and the Blu-ray is like very, very expensive. Like
Yeah.
Oh, Wishmaster.
Oh, Wishmaster's my
Yeah,
shit.
Wishmaster was fire.
Yeah,
Yeah, Wishmaster was fire.
I would love to have like somebody do like a remake of that or whatever, but the original actor, he's still alive, so he definitely can still do it.
Yeah. Also, I like I like the early 2000s when they started to get into like the French horror stuff, or like the a lot of like the foreign horror started to kind of pop up, like Martyrs and stuff like that. And what was the other one? That shit was sadistic though. That shit was fucking crazy. It was nothing like the worst horror movie I probably ever watched, and I feel like that should just be banned, and whoever made it should be just locked up for life. Is the Serbian film? Like a fucking terrible movie.
To Serbia? Yeah. I never seen that one.
I never
Which
seen
one?
that one.
Don't watch it.
Yeah.
Serbian film.
Oh, Serbia. Oh, my boy, Mr.
Yeah.
The dude, Mr. Gigi, did a review on that. Like, it put like a disturbing film or whatever.
It's
And-
more than disturbing. Like
Yeah,
I'm like, bro.
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I was about to quote you. I'm like, why are you like this? Like, why are you like this, bro? Like, it's
That's
crazy
weird.
though.
The early 2000s is a weird spot for horror with all the teen horror, like what was it, like Urban Legends and
I did like the first one of those. So.
well, it was a lot. I know what you did last summer because they
What
all
you did
was
last
trying to
summer.
make up that Scream. You know what I'm saying?
The Ring.
And,
I have
Yeah.
a disdain for
Ring
one
was
movie
good.
from the early 2000s. It ain't got nothing to do with the movies because I got dumped at the movies while watching this movie, and it was.
that's what I mean. Hey,
I hate
that
the,
one
Oh,
fucking
man.
Grudge. I fucking hate the Grudge. I hate the sequels. I hate everything about
Oh
it.
Lord.
What was another one? House of Wax. I was just recently when I watched that.
Yeah.
Like
Jackson
two.
Lecky's in it. And Paris
Yeah, I was just like, wow, this was crazy.
Yep.
Oh man, that one actually had a little potential though. Like it could have did something, but
Mhm.
I stumbled across an old one too. I don't know if you ever heard of this movie. Remember that movie, The Curse?
no,
Yeah. With the
Yeah,
werewolf
the Curse,
thing,
okay,
whatever.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The
it's the
werewolf?
sequel. But it was a sequel called The Curse 2. But it had nothing to do with the original movie. But it was an Italian. It was an Italian horror movie, but it had to do with a snake. So this guy gets bit by a radioactive snake,
The fuck?
and his hand
He's
actually
super
slowly transforms like into a snake, and by the end, his whole body is like covered with them. It's some real creepy
Wow.
body horror type shit. If you can find it, I highly recommend it.
Wow.
It's called The Curse 2, The Bite.
That sounds like the
Mm.
story of Cobra Commander. I was
So they went from
Yes,
I'm thinking
Q,
the
I'm
Curse-
telling
the
you,
first one-
it was a
first one,
live
right?
action Cobra Commander origin story when he turned into a fucking snake, bro.
I was once a man.
See, we
Yeah,
might get that
because
with
it
the-
started with his hand. It started with his hand when he got bit, and then through the movie, you just see it progressively get worse and worse until it eventually his hand becomes a fucking snake.
It sounds
And then-
familiar too.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
snakes
Sound like
just
The
start
Fly,
coming out of
but
him.
with a
Yeah,
snake.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Wow.
it was crazy. Yeah, if
That's
you
a
can
great
find
one.
that, man, check
I-
that out. Yeah, it's an Italian horror film. Italians are crazy, bro.
I
Yeah,
ain't
that,
being saying what the fuck is going on. What the fuck?
Real. Was a weird one. Have you ever anybody seen the Cube movies?
The Cube.
Wow.
Yeah.
I heard of
That's
those.
like-
I don't think I've seen
Cube?
one.
I feel
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I feel like those are like like that. That to me was like Saw before Saw. Honestly,
Yeah.
like them just trying to like traverse through all these different cubes, and them trying to figure out like how to escape this place, and
If-
that's
yeah.
that's crazy.
If you're a person that wants your movie to end with some type of explanation, you're not gonna like it though.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie though. It's definitely good. It's one of the movies that like it explores how it's a social experiment. You know, you have the crazy person or you have the same person that progressively get crazier and crazier as the situation happens, and you have everybody coming out their shell. So it's a good fucking movie. It's a good movie.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
First one,
VHS. I never watched that one.
Yeah, the Q. That's one of those. Every time I walked in Blockbuster, like I always saw it, but I always walked past it.
Because
Nah,
the
you should
cover,
definitely-
right? Yeah, it's like the cube.
Yeah,
Isn't it
yeah.
like a cube on the cover. Like,
There's like screaming or whatever inside of it. That's
Yeah, it's like you pick it up, you say the cube. I don't want to watch that shit. Let me get let me read Armageddon again or some shit like that.
or Evil Dead 2 because it got a skull with eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, this is a skull with eyeballs. This shit is crazy. I gotta watch that.
Watch it. So I did watch the Evil Dead series when they first came out. So when I went back and watched it, like I made a mission to like watch all three of them in a row. When I got to the second one, I was like, "This is just the fucking first one." Like, what the?
Yep.
Fuck is going on?
It's
The better version.
But it's a way better version. Yeah,
It's a zanier version of the first one. Yeah.
Yeah.
They gave him the money, you know what I'm saying, to make it how it was supposed to be. I guess how he wanted to make it. But like Army of Darkness, I don't really rock with it. I know everybody like that one. Well, like I don't like that one because they took the horror out of it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the one I go back to least, but I really like the remake a lot. Like I see a lot of mixed views on the remake, but like I like the remake just because it just it just completely embraces what Evil Dead. Like
yeah.
I think the remake is better than Evil Dead Rises.
Facts, bro.
Most definitely.
The remake actually ruined my experience for Evil Dead Rises because I watched the remake for the first time right before I watched Evil Dead Rises, and so by the time I went to Evil Dead Rises, I'm like, this is like PG-13 compared to that shit I watched last night.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about.
This is the reason I like EDR so much. It's just because the mom's performance on it. Now they get batshit crazy in the end, and I was like, I didn't really like that. They could have killed what they was doing, but her performance was just so fucking good.
Yeah, that was really good.
Like she killed that shit. But
I just think
2013. I just because of the gender swap.
Yeah, pretty much. But like, it's just like the same. Like whenever you watch Terrifier and Terrifier 2, it's just like, yo, like these slashers is kind of like it's just not hitting. Like Saw is gonna be cool, but it's just I like Art because he like he'll give you some kills that you've never seen before. Like
talk about the kills you've never seen before. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, when my man ran back from the kitchen with some salt, I was like, yo,
salt and some bleach.
What are you doing?
Some salt and bleach, nigga.
Like, I ain't done with your ass, but yeah, that I can't wait for 3. I can't because I feel like that set like a new bar for like slashers because like I like the brutality, like especially with like the new Halloween. I just like the brutality. Like they made Mike Myers more brutal. Like even with Scream, they're kind of pushing it a little bit and not going too like
Yeah.
But I think if you're gonna make a slasher, just make a slasher. Go all the way in with it.
That's art. That mashed potato scene, though, when he smashed the mashed potatoes in the hole in that bitch's face, I have never seen no shit like that ever in my life. I've been watching gore, horror, all collective Fangoria, but when he slashed that mashed potatoes, like, okay. Yeah, this movie got no rules. Of course, they can do that too because they're independent. It's not a big company behind them like Paramount. Like, hey, man, you can't smash mashed potatoes into a space and shit. Like I'm saying, through the other side. But that's why I like Art though. That they're keeping that gore factor.
He cheats. You never know what he's gonna do.
That's why Jason needs to come back, bro. I appreciate the Friday the 13th fan films, like Roseblood and
thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shout out to Peter Anthony, Roseblood, Q Reviews. Y'all did the damn thing with that one, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, so you know what? Watching the Friday the 13th fan films, I don't want to see a studio made Friday the 13th film now, man. I mean, it'll be cool. It'd be cool to see a Friday the 13th what they can do now with a budget, but just the freedom of doing the kills how you want to do them. Like the way Peter Anthony set some of those kills up, bro. I'm like, nah. Yeah, just
I wouldn't.
You know what kills me about
I wouldn't.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I wouldn't mind them going back to the basics and just like dealing with his mom because I thought that was such an interesting kind of take
Yeah.
of like dealing with a mom. But then I don't know how much different you can go from the original. I just think there's a lot to explore with that. Go ahead.
It's breaking up.
Because A24 is
Am I
bringing
breaking up
out the
again?
series of
Yeah, you was breaking up again.
yeah, you good now.
They got the Crystal Lake. Yeah. The
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
A24
A24.
A24 is doing that.
Yeah,
yeah.
A24 doing that. Isn't that weird?
They teamed up with Paramount.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be shooting on Paramount Plus. It's delayed right now, of course, but yeah.
That's the weirdest company I would think will grab Friday the 13th. But I would think Blumhouse or something, but like A24.
Right.
I'm glad
I
Blumhouse,
got
honestly, because
Blumhouse
Blumhouse is kind of hit. Yeah, they're hit or miss.
Yeah, Blumhouse is hit or miss. But they got some good ones, but that's always
but
they tag team with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
But I was
I
gonna
like
say
A24 because like you can always go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. sorry. What I was gonna say about the
That's okay.
A24 series, not A24, sorry, the Friday 13th series is the creator of Friday the 13th is such a I don't really know the man like that, but he's a jackass. He puts so much like he has the title, he has the rights for Friday the 13th, right?
John
But he-
Cunningham, yeah.
Yeah, but he never really made Jason what Jason is now. That was somebody else. But he has the titles of it. So he's like, if I'm not getting paid, nobody, like, it's not going to happen. That's what happened with the Friday 13th game.
Yeah, that was fucked up. I was heavy on that game too.
Like, it's just so much like, bro, you don't even have nothing to do with what Jason is now. You're just, it's just his name. And it was just like, bro, come on now. Like, you OD it. You acting like you created this franchise.
That's just some hating ass shit.
It's about the money. That game is highly popular. You know what I'm saying? And it brought Jason back and Friday 13th back in a big way. And then they start seeing that like, oh, they making money, all you know. And then they did that lawsuit, shut down the game, shut down any. They're about to make more movies too. They just shut it all down.
Shut it all down.
Yeah.
Wow. So what's the reason?
Jason.
Just so
It's
what's his whole reason for doing that shit?
He want more ownership to the Friday the 13th series. He want to own Jason or in the Friday the 13th. So Sean Cunningham and the other guy, they went at it for rights. It's sort of like the Hawk, you know what I'm saying, like that. You know what I'm saying, like Hawk really belongs to Universal, but they let it out to Marvel. But he wasn't budging, so they never came to a standstill. But I think it's right now it's good, so that's why we got the series. But it took like years, like 3 years.
In the series, like they can't use Jason in the series or some shit like that. So.
I hear they can use Jason though. Yeah, I hear they can use Jason. They said they don't have.
Now they can. Okay.
Take that with a grain of salt, though. I heard that from multiple sources. Like, yeah, they don't have Jason in it. So, like,
it's probably gonna be like a Gotham. It's probably.
I'm sorry. Good.
No, it's probably gonna be like a Gotham situation where they can't just use the Joker's name or something like that, but they can do like some type of like version of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of calling him Jason, gonna call him Jerry or some shit like that, or
call him Jet. Call him Jet. Call him Jet. Just call him Jay.
Don't call it a comeback.
They gonna
fuck out of here, man.
Like shit faced
Jerome.
Yeah, Jerome. Like, what the fuck is the point of having a Friday the 13th series?
You gotta have
Jason. You can have Jason.
Yeah, it's just it don't make any sense. He gotta be sellable.
Him is his ego is so mad because he's like I said, he created Jason, but it wasn't who Jason is now. And it was Pamela. That was his killer. Pamela was his killer. Jason was just an afterthought, it was just something they threw in just because they wanted, a big ending type thing. And now that he's seeing that Jason becomes the face of something that he created, but he had shit to do with it. It's like a huge ego thing. Like, no, I need to get paid. I need the rights to it. I started this whole barbecue shit.
Yeah.
Who
put this thing together? Who? Me, that's true. That's
like Otis.
Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis.
Right. Bro. Like, come on now. Let us have
that's corny, man. Yeah, because so you spit in the face of the fans that love this franchise. So it's all about the ego.
Yeah, that's why we started making the fan films because there were no movies. It was like, all right, we'll just
I do want to see like Nightmare on Elm Street come back. Friday the 13th because it's like Halloween's come back, Scream's come back, all the OG. Is coming back. It's just who's going to play Freddy. You know what I'm saying? I think they should go somebody young. honestly, like, I know this is like probably a generic pick, or I just feel like he plays a good villain, like Bill Skarsgård or something like that.
Man,
But
Yeah,
he got the
he's already
hype for it.
Pennywise though. Yeah.
He got the hype
I can
for it,
see,
and
I
he
see
got
him
the
with
damn
Freddy.
death they
That's a
got
good
for
choice.
it, boy.
And it was too, because we coming from this generation, like I'm in my 40s, and some I know I heard some of you guys in your 30s too. Like, will the new generation even care? You know what I'm saying? About I had the same thought about the Ninja Turtles. Me and Rashad was having like, will the kids even give a fuck about the Ninja Turtles? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Will they give?
it's depending on how you market
care?
it. It's depending on your market. You gotta use social media and stuff, because sometimes, like, you can, like, some people have some creative rollouts, like how Smile was doing their rollout and stuff. They're having
Yeah,
people
that was
going
crazy
out.
as fuck. That was
You know,
crazy as
Excellent
fuck.
marketing. Yeah.
you could do, like, I would love to see like a teaser trailer where it's like it can, like, look at like an infomercial about like a sleeping pill or something like that, and it just comes out of
Yeah.
nowhere, like Freddy kills somebody or something like that, or like a slash, or just to kind of tease
But
people.
honestly,
Speaking of
and this just me speaking as an Elm Street fan and a Freddy fan. I don't know if they could pull it off, because kind of like Boris Karloff is Frankenstein, and ever since Boris Karloff, nobody is there anybody else you can think of that played Frankenstein and played that shit?
They are
Robert De Niro.
They are remake. They are doing like a new-ish kind of Frankenstein movie. Was it Pretty Things or something like that? What was that A24 movie that it got delayed till like December? But
you talking about with Emma Stone?
But I'm
yeah.
saying, Frank, the OG Frankenstein was like 31, 32, and all the way up until now, almost 100 years later, nobody's been able to fill them shoes, man. And Freddy, to me, Robert Englund is so perfect in that role. I just can't see nobody else playing Freddy like him, man.
I agree.
You got a good point. Yeah.
Somebody would have to just bring something completely different. Like, don't try to emulate. You know what I'm saying? How would y'all feel about like a Freddy like that has like almost like a Two-Face, whereas half of his face is burnt or something like that?
I'm fine with it. Because like you said, I like what you said, Perp. Like, he could be like you got to Heath Ledger it. You know what I'm saying? You got to bring your own spin onto this already iconic character, and I think it could work, especially if you got a good origin. You got to go origin story now with Freddy. You know what I'm saying? A little bit into the movie. You know what I'm saying? And bring it out, because that's something different. I think and I think that would work. So yeah, you got
because it's like how do you bring that in? Like, how do you incorporate that into 2023 if you were going modern day? Like, with technology, like, would Freddy be able to like fuck with you with your phone or something like that? That'd be kind of corny, but it's just like certain things like that would be kind of hard. Like, I wouldn't want them to go back in the 80s, because
Freddy haunts your dreams. So that's timeless. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can
go to sleep.
Like that shit never goes away. Everybody has to go to sleep.
If I had to spitball a certain nightmare, I would say maybe something where, you remember when in 4 where the girl fell asleep and he was like suck face or whatever, and he
want to suck face.
It would be more of like a viral moment that replays over and over. Like something some embarrassing shit where everybody pull their phone out, and then she just like, oh my god, like right. And then then you got Freddy just like at the top of it. I don't know, somewhere.
Or it's like, or sort of like, or sort of how like Freddy versus Jason. It was like, like nobody really feared him. That's why it's like that played a big part of it. Like, where in social media, how like everybody Google shit, and like you can hear about like, just like this old rumor of like this old serial killer or something like that, or this old like you could summon this shit, or
like the talk to me type of thing, you know what I'm saying? Use it for Freddy.
That was Wes Craven's idea one time, where people would actually, I don't know if it was Wes Craven's idea, but it was one of my ideas where they actually took sleeping pills to go fuck with Freddy.
Right.
Yeah,
I think that was his original premise for Dream Warriors. They were gonna have like the Dream Police and all that shit. And
that was the original premise for Dream Warriors.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was his original premise.
They should do that, because I thought that was a dope ass idea. I was like, damn, that's fucked up.
What if actually
at the time, they didn't have the money or the, I guess, they didn't have the budget or the technology at the time to pull that off.
I was gonna say, like, I even thought about it too. Like, what if they, like, for a design for Freddy, like they went with like an older looking Freddy. He's like, he kind of looks like almost like a skeleton, but his face is burnt and stuff. Like he just kind of like I don't know, face kind of sunken in. Like they just went with a really creepy, just kind of get away from like the goofiness and stuff like that, but just make it more serious or just
Yeah.
like a
Well,
creepy ass old man.
That was kind of his design for 2. Like, if I think his design in 2 was like the best
scariest.
Freddy makeup. Yeah, the scariest.
Yeah.
Because he had that long ass witch nose, and like you said, his face was kind of sunken in. He had the black circles around his eyes, and he was all slimy and shit. Yeah, he was creepy in that second one.
That was the best makeup for Freddy throughout the whole series too.
Facts.
Worst is Freddy's Dead.
Oh, God. Don't even get me started on that.
Hey,
shit.
y'all.
Go ahead.
Y'all far
Freddy was Wile E. Coyote and then Freddy's Dead.
Freddy's Dead is not my favorite, but I did fucking enjoy that movie.
Hell no. Man, I threw my 3D glasses on the ground and stomped them shits after that movie was over.
I didn't enjoy it as a horror movie. I enjoyed it as a comedy. Like it
Nah.
Man.
Nah.
I think that's one of the worst horror movies of all time, bro.
One of the worst. I saw that shit in 3D,
For real.
nigga. I saw that shit in 3D. I took my 3D glasses and threw them shits on the ground.
Remember how hype it was to go see Freddy's Dead? Like we want to go see Freddy's Dead. It's going to be the best shit ever. And you brought out that, like, for real?
Yeah,
How would
because Q, that was the marketing. Yo, we saved the best for last. You know, the last Freddy. Man, that shit was dog shit.
How would y'all feel about if they made Freddy a woman?
Nope. What, Frida? They gonna call her Frida?
Yeah, like Frida. Big Frida.
Freddy can't be.
You gotta bring it. That's all I got.
Or maybe like, you know, since he's already kind of like a shapeshifter, you could just have that be his thing. Like he just always changes his form.
Well, Freddy technically was a woman once. Freddy was a woman once. In Dream Warriors, they did a makeup test where they put tits on Robert Englund, and you know
they did.
Yeah, the scene where Joey had the dream about the nurse.
But they had a woman.
They actually had Freddy in drag, man. They had Robert Englund in drag. They gave him tits.
No. It was a woman.
Oh, it was a woman. Oh, okay.
I'm about to say they got him.
Okay.
All right, so I gotta hop down. My kids is not letting me do this anymore.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you popping up. I'm about to wrap this up.
All right. Well, my mistake. They didn't put him in drag. Okay. They actually took a woman and put Freddy makeup on the chick.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, they gave Freddy tits. Where did he get off having tits?
But yeah, this was I want to start wrapping this up. This was really fun, like kind of just going through all the different horror films. And next episode's going to be called The Horror for Newcomers. So that's going to be interesting. That's going to be next week, same time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'll put the links in the chats and stuff, and whoever can pop up can pop up. But I appreciate everybody popping up. Because I'm just gonna let everybody, you know, plug their channels and whatnot. Q.
Oh yeah. Just check me out. That's the name, Q Reviews. You know what I'm saying? Doing movie reviews. Still working on my Strange Addiction tuna video that should be out here pretty soon. So yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on. You know,
no problem.
I love talking horror. Anytime I talk horror, I was playing Texas Chainsaw, so I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be on this shit. Yeah. So yeah,
that's funny. That's funny.
Anzo.
Bigger Ford Entertainment. Just a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, Perp.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, Mr. Rogers Review. You can catch me on TikTok, Instagram, Mr. Rogers Review, and Facebook, Rogers Review. I talk about everything anime, especially horror and anime and all that good stuff. So appreciate being on here. This was fun as hell.
Yeah, no problem. Rashad, what you got going?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm looking forward to Q's tuna review. I'm anticipating watching that more than the Meg 2, man.
It's gonna be better than Meg 2. I guarantee you that.
So yeah. Rashad G reviews. I talk movies also. As far as what do I got coming up? I'm actually working on a You Ain't Shit video. I'm bringing back my You Ain't Shit series, and this time's recipient is Sam LaRusso.
Oh damn.
I gotta do
Yo,
it, bro.
you gonna cook her shit?
I'm going in on Sam LaRusso. So yeah, look out for that one.
Nah, she deserves it. She deserves it though.
Yeah,
That's gonna be dope. I'm
That's
definitely gonna peep that.
absolutely-
But yeah, that's pretty much been the stream. I got a bunch of stuff coming. I'm not going just when it pops up, it pops up. Equalizer comes out this weekend. Hopefully, I can see this this Sloth movie if it plays by theater in their meeting. I don't want to go to fucking Philly just to go see this movie. And yeah, till next week, next episode. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.